So here we are once again, and no more leaking because everything ran out into the big pool, which has worked really well. And gonna do a little work tonight, not sure how much, but not sure what I'm gonna do. I think probably try and take off some of that manifold stuff there. Intake, looks like intake exhaust, manifold, they're all kind of mated together. May do a little of that tonight. And this radiator hose comes out on top, the top hose. There's looks like a long manifold down through there as well for the coolant. So maybe work on those bolts, those old rusty bolts a little bit tonight and see if we can get some of them out. Everything's, progressing slowly but surely. I still have Marvel Mystery Oil in the cylinders. That's my love out there, you can hear her. She talks to me loudly sometimes. She's adorable. But the oil pan still has Marvel Mystery Oil in it, as you can see, and then the crank and the connecting rods, they're not really soaking in it right now because it all ran out. So may eventually try and plug this up a little bit better and take some of this oil here, strain it into a bottle or bottles, and pour it back in to allow another soak, or maybe a little bit better soak this time. Now, one step at a time here. So another idea I've had, because I know that this clutch assembly right here is pretty much stuck. Not pretty much, but definitely stuck. There's a lever down there with a rod and linkage, and it's not moving at all. And I totally think that I suspect that pressure plate and clutch, flywheel are all locked up with the engine, and then it's all connected back through a very short axle connection here of some sort, couplings, U-joints, not sure, I gotta pull all that apart. Back to the transmission, and I'm quite certain that the transmission is somehow frozen as well. Whether it's the brakes that are holding it, or anyway, that's to be determined. But I'm thinking to get this apart right here, this bell housing. There's some bolts right here can come out. So take everything loose here, slide the whole engine forward, and then start disassembling this part here and get into the flywheel, pressure plate, and the clutch, and make sure that that's all in good shape, or at least fix it, unstick it, and put it in order. So that's it for now. We'll get started and see what kind of progress we can make. All right, so this manifold here, I'm pulling the nuts off here. One of them was actually a nut on a stud. The stud actually came out, which I believe went all the way down into the cylinder block. And so potentially, basically, that is one of our head studs right here. You can see it is a nut fastened to a head stud. So that's the first head stud that we've removed. Don't expect to remove a lot of head studs. I hope, well, whatever happens, I mean, we're gonna see, but we've got a bunch more to take out to remove that head. So that was the first one. but a lot of the nuts are coming off. Not giving a lot of problems there. They're just coming right out. I've got this square one next. So, only thing I have for that is a crescent wrench or a box end wrench. I'm thinking of a crescent right now. Don't know if they make a special wrench for that. I'm sure I'll find out eventually. But just moving forward with it. It's going well. Let me see, I'm gonna make an attempt here to prop my phone. I haven't done this yet for you guys, but sorry about that. It didn't work. I actually turned the phone off, went through a whole process of removing a bolt and did not film it. But anyway, sorry about that. We'll have to get better at that. But let me show you. Did get the bolt out. This square-headed bolt. Square head speaks to its age, I would say. But this was one of the cylinder head bolts, and along with some of the nuts and another bolt that I removed. And I was successful in getting it out of this hole here. It wasn't too bad with a crescent wrench, back and forth, and she came right out. So, as you can see here, just grabbing a pry bar, small one. She's actually loose. See that? It's really great. Came off pretty easily. Kind of surprised me there too. A lot of things are surprising me on this old tractor. If you can see there, that's coming out too now. Because I am able to remove a lot of stuff, even with all that rust. So let's do another attempt here. I'm gonna try not to turn you off. Seems like a okay spot. I think we're playing. We'll find out. But let's get this thing off of here, huh? So nice and easy here. One side at a time. And there she goes. Very nice. Yeah. She's corroded. As you can see, that's the coolant passage. Coolant passages. Top radiator hose connects to the manifold and it flows down through there. A lot of rust, corrosion. So anyway, here we go. I'm gonna keep working. Okay, so got that piece off. Not hard at all. However, started working on these. 1, 2, 3. 3 bolts broke off. 1 came out. Got these off. There was a bolt in here with a real funny looking wing connector, which is over here. This thing here. And this bolt here came out easily. This nut was holding the other one on this side, came off easily. Now I broke this, which I'm not too worried about. You don't think I'm able to reuse this anyhow because it's got a big hole in it. Probably gonna have to find one of these. It's really rough. Looks like an intake manifold. So funny how they mated the intake manifold with the exhaust manifold back then. They didn't really take into consideration that fuel and air, when cooler, produce more power. But anyhow, under here, way up under there, there's a bolt, very rusty. and hard to get to. And then under here is another one. Hard to see up in there. Where is that sucker? I can't see it either. It's right up in there somewhere. Again, looks like the Titanic. But that bolt, there's two bolts. One there and one over here. And they are gonna be a bear. Kind of thinking that I may need to get a specialty grinding bit that will reach in there and grind those suckers off. So we'll see. In order to get that apparatus loose and off. So still working on it. Hit some potentially tough stuff here, but we'll get through it. It's not the end of the world. One step at a time. That's it for tonight.